Hello everybody and welcome to another London bus restoration video from Routemaster for Hire. If you watched episode 15 recently, you'll know that this bus here, our open topper RM1783, had the 6th water pump fitted in 12 months. Well, in this video we've got an update on that situation for you, plus we've also got some urgent maintenance to do on this bus before she goes for an MOT next week. So let's get this bus up in the air, let's get suited and booted, and let's get busy. So, what are the urgent jobs we need to do on this bus then before she goes for an MOT next week? Well, the first job is to replace these 4 brake hoses. Now, they run from the accumulators here to the front of the bus to the foot brake valve. And they're high pressure brake hoses. Now, I'm not sure you can see this on camera, but they are starting to degrade and so they need to be replaced. Especially when you consider this bus runs up and down the Horseshoe Pass, carrying passengers up and down hills on sightseeing tours. So we can't afford to have a brake hose burst on us on one of those tours. So they've got to come off. Now, it's a straightforward job on paper, undoing 4 ends this end, a couple of clamps, and then 4 ends at the other end. But all these hoses have different ends and you've got to take them off and put them back on again in the right order. So that's the first challenge. Right, so the reason why this is an awkward job is because these 4 hoses, they start here, and from here they then run through a clamp here, then they go even higher up to another clamp, they run the other side around the handbrake lever, and then they come up to the foot brake valve, which is just here below the driver's cab. So of course the easiest way of getting them off of this end here is to take the offside front wheel off. Now of course if we're going to do that, we then can't have the bus up on the stands. So the easiest way of doing it now is to lower the bus down onto an axle stand, take this wheel off, and then we're going to have to crawl on our backs underneath the bus while it's only a couple of feet up in the air to get these ones all undone. So this is why this job is not a nice job to do, but it's got to be done. So we're going to crack on with that now. Of course, the first job is we need to get the brake oil out of the system. And these are the brand new hoses going on the bus today. Now, as you can see, there's actually 5, not 4, got that wrong before. And they've all got different ends as well. We've got straight ends, we've got ends with a 90-degree bend, and we've got one here with a 45-degree bend as well. They're also all different lengths. So we need to make sure that we put the right hose in the right place. We've got our work cut out today. This isn't as simple as just replacing hoses. We've got to be careful we put the right hose in exactly the right place, both at this end and at the foot brake valve as well. But before we do it, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Martin Dethridge, our good friend down at London Bus for Hire in Usk in South Wales. He stocks these bad boys. He's had them made for years now, so I know that when we fit these on the bus, they're going to be exactly the right length. So thank you, Martin. Thanks for sending these up to us. It's much appreciated, mate. Cheers. Now, to make sure we connect the new hoses in the right place, Tim came up with this ingenious method of remembering what goes where.
Offside, near side front,
yep.
Near side rear,
yep.
bottom +1, long, top,
long top,
top -1.
So did you hear that? We have near side front bottom, near side front, near side rear bottom +1, long top, and we've got a top -1. Clear as mud? As long as you know what that means.
I know what that means.
This is all to do with how they are in the clamp and what position they're in, apparently. Yeah?
Yeah,
Will you remember that?
I'll remember that.
Right, okay. And with the ingenious labelling done, it was time to remove the wheel.
Now the trick is, if we put this under there,
Like so.
and then if you leave that in that position, it should just go straight back on.
Right, so that's the front wheel off. Now we've got much easier access to the hoses on the foot brake valve. We've already released the hoses at the accumulator end. We've got a clamp to undo, and then we can start swapping these hoses out. Right, so here's the foot brake valve, and as you can see, there's some hoses here that need doing, and there's some on the other side. See how it's much easier now to get to this with the front wheel off.
There. Now the cloth do.
This one.
Yeah. And then find that one.
Yeah.
Feed it. Right. Come back again. Can you go? Can you see where it goes in the clamp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to worry about that for now, do we?
Okay.
Another one out. Are you ready?
Right. Try and fit. That's going to come under the.
I think this is the only job we've done where a pit would have been easier than the lifts.
Still got.
Right. Wow, number 3. That's. Shall I feed it down to you, or do you want to feed it up to me?
I'll try and fit it to you.
I should. It might be easier if I fed it down to you. I think we use gravity on the side, shall we?
Right, hang on there. They are knackered, aren't they?
Yeah.
Daddy.
Yeah, it's a good job we've changed them, really.
Especially doing what it does.
I've got the front end.
Did you get that end off?
No. Right, last one. Now I'm not sure which way round this goes, because you threw it at me. I've got a feeling it probably doesn't matter.
Just.
Because my end's got to go there, like that.
Right, but it goes that way then.
What happens if we go that way? Doesn't make any difference, does it?
They're the same end, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter.
They're the same end, but they're 180 degrees apart, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which way it goes.
Doesn't.
Right.
Wants to go in, pull that tight in there, do? That's it.
I think we need to do them up first, because I'm way out of here.
Hey?
This is going to be a right pain in the arse.
Yeah, well that's what I say, you need to pull it like hell towards you.
No, it's not. It's not the length. It's the angle of the connection.
Oh, right.
Right. That's all 5 hoses on. Got to nip them up. But first of all, let's have a cup of tea. Jess, that's not a very ladylike way to sit on someone's knee, is it? Don't you have any shame? Well, I must admit, that takes me right back to my youth. It's been a good few years since someone sat on my knee in that position. But that's another story. Right, tea break over. Let's get that wheel back on. That's it. That's it, so.
There we go, that's the last clamp done up and the brake hose is all finished. And a torn set of gloves.
Right, that's the first job of the day done. And I think doing the clamps up took longer than actually putting the hoses on. But as you can see, the old hoses we took off well and truly past their best. It's all peeling off. So it's a good job we've done these because they could have gone at any time. And that's the last thing you need when you're driving up and down the Horseshoe Pass, which if you don't know North Wales is a very hilly road on our open top tours. Coming down the pass, if one of these had gone, we'd have been in a lot of trouble. Hello?
We've got an order to suspend your national insurance number on immediate basis because your number was found suspicious for several illegal activities. It's very time sensitive and urgent that we hear back from you before we proceed further with suspension of your national insurance number, your assets and arrest you. Please press 1 to speak to an officer. I repeat, press 1 to speak with an officer.
Right,
Thank you.
I better do that because I'm so scared I'm going to get arrested. Let's press 1 and see what happens.
Thank you for calling National Crime Agency. How can I help you?
Oh, I'm a bit worried. I've just had a call that I'm going to get arrested.
So you got a voicemail or you got a message?
I got a voicemail.
Alright, and when did you get a voicemail?
Right now, just a few minutes ago.
Alright, so first of all I need to check it out, what is going on. So, can you please verify me your name, sir?
My name is Dennis.
And what is the last name?
Farquharson Hamilton Smythe.
Sorry?
Farquharson Hamilton Smythe.
Spell for me.
Farkauhsenn hyphen HAMILTON hyphen Smythe. SMITHE.
I got it. Dennis Farquharson Hamilton, right?
Yes.
Okay, and what is the last 3 digits of your national insurance number?
472.
You said 472?
Yes, that's right. Am I going to get arrested?
Maybe.
Why?
Alright, in that case, like before I pull up your case file, verify me your zip postal code.
My what?
Your postal code.
My postal go?
Yes, sir, your postal code.
My postal go is LL147 8BUX.
Okay.
I think I need to change my number. I get calls like that all the bloody time. Now the second job is to sort out an oil leak from the accumulator. I'm not sure you can see here, but oil is dripping off this bottom accumulator. Now it's coming from the top one typically, so I'm not sure whether we're going to need to replace the accumulator itself or whether we just need to tighten up some of the hoses. But this oil leak needs to be sorted before the MOT. This would be a definite fail. We're going to need to take the charge out of these before you start moving them.
Yeah. We want to do that.
Yeah.
So we noticed when the accumulator was on the bus, the leak is coming between the fittings on the end and where it screws into the accumulator. So what we're going to do is take that apart and reseal it, and hopefully when we put it back together it won't leak anymore. You'll have to go further back, I think, first. Right, push it up towards me now. That's it. Filter.
Filters next.
Just hope it works afterwards. I do that every time on that.
Yeah, well, that's why I wear a fucking hat. I look a twat, but I'm wearing a hat. Yeah, you see? Safety first. That's why this twat wears a hat. This twat doesn't. There's a lot of things you can bump your head on under here, and every single one of them hurts. Right, well, it's been a busy day so far. We've got those 5 brand new hoses fitted and we've cleaned up all the connections on that top accumulator. So fingers crossed we've cured the leak. We're not going to know for sure until we put the oil back in the bus, but we're not going to do that just yet because there is one more job I want to do, and that is, while the oil's out, we might as well clean the oil filter, and that's this little housing here. Got some bolts to undo, and then we're going to give everything a good clean. Right, that's the last one out. Now this plate should come off to reveal the filter. Right, so now I've got the cover off. There's a little nut here on a spring, so we need to release that and then the whole filter comes out. There's one bit. And there is the filter, ready for cleaning. Right, everything's had a good old clean and we're going to put everything back together again now. While we're doing that though, just a quick reminder, if you're still here, you must be enjoying this video. So please remember, give us that thumbs up. You don't know how important a thumb is to a young channel like ours. The more people that like our videos, the more YouTube put our channel and our episodes in front of people that may not have found us yet. So if you're enjoying this video, please remember, hit that thumbs up and give us a like. Thank you very much. Right, once these bolts are done up, we've got to remember to put the sump plug back in before we fill this back up with oil. And I've said this before in a previous video, remember if you do this on your Routemaster, you don't put brake oil in here, it's hydraulic oil. Sorry, Jess, we're not going for a ride just yet. We've only got the engine running so we can check the oil level.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to bleed the brakes. So we're just going to open this bleed nipple here. Dave's going to put his foot on the foot brake valve, and then we're just going to make sure there's no air bubbles coming out of the brake system because we've had all the hoses off at the front, so we just need to make sure it's all got oil going through it. Right, now we've got the right spanner, we're going to just undo that there.
Okay, so this would have been far easier for Tim if David kept a constant pressure on the brake pedal. Instead, the comedian in the cab thought it'd be funny to pump the brakes, causing the oil to shoot out of the bleed nipple at high pressure. So poor old Tim got covered.
That's the first one done. Now to do the other three.
Now, if you're wondering about the water pump, the good news is there's been no leaks so far. We've done about 70 miles since we changed that pump, and so far it's stayed nice and dry. 70 miles is still early days, so we're keeping our fingers crossed for the next few thousand miles it stays nice and dry. Right, last job. Fucking phone. Swansea. Hello? Hello? I can hear you, yes?
Just conducting a very short marketing survey from time to time. On behalf of some UK's leading brands, if that's okay, can I move to the first question? I promise to be very quick, okay?
What is it you want from me?
We are just asking regarding to your household preferences only. And it won't take long for you, I promise, alright?
You want to know my preferences?
Yes, household.
No, it's gone. Fucking hell. One more job to do before we go home, and that is to give all the tools a good clean. It's been a really messy job today, so they're all going to get cleaned up and put away so we know exactly where they are next time we need them. And that is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching again. The outtakes is on the way next, but remember, if you haven't given us a like, please do so. Hit that like button and give us that thumbs up. Thank you very much. From me and Tim, hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Who needs music when you have oil? Okay, so here we have the hoof. Right, so this is it. This
Brake valve.
the hoof brake valve. Right, we've had a cup of tea, and now we're going to tackle the leaky accumulator. Typically, it's the accumulator that's right at the top. So there's a whole load of wires. Not fucking wires, dickhead. We've had a nice cup of tea, and now we're going to tackle the leaky accumulator. Typically, it's the accumulator at the top that's leaking. So, always you get. Are you quite finished?
Not quite. We noticed when the accumulator was on the bus that the leak is coming from between the joint...